Good evening and welcome to the Chrissy B Show, and today we're going to be speaking all about happiness. Now everyone wants to be happy, but for some, no matter what or how much they have, they still feel like something is missing. On today's show there will be great tips on how to be happy, and my guest tonight includes Sarah Lake from an organisation called The Way to Happiness, Mr. Morris de Medeiros, who according to research is in the happiest profession, and our very own assistant producer Excel Ashiamumu, who apparently is at the happiest age, again according to research, and we'll be revealing that age later on. And also, do you know where the happiest places in the UK are, or what the happiest country in the world is? All will be revealed later. I'll also be sharing the things in life that make me happy. We'll also be featuring a happy place to visit. And also Chris Brown is here to share some self-development advice. And it's going to be all about how to be happy in the workplace. But I'd like to hear from you, my lovely viewers, too. What makes you happy? What do you do to cheer yourself up when you're feeling a bit down? You can tweet Chrissy B Show or Facebook the Chrissy B Show. And you can also email Chris at chrissybshow.tv. And our lovely Emilia will be reading out your comments. So let's introduce our first guest, which is Sarah Lake. And I have to say, she's very giggling, lovely, and extremely happy, aren't you, Sarah? How are you?
Yeah, I'm well, thank you.
So great to have you on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You've brightened up the place already.
Oh, thank you.
So tell me about what you do.
Basically what we do is we use a book called The Way to Happiness, and it's a book that gives you guidelines and ideas of how you can actually practically in your everyday life do things that will actually make you happier. Because we all obviously want happiness. As far as back as I can remember, you hear people talking about, you know, I want to be happy, or happiness is the ultimate goal, but nobody actually tells you how to do that. And, you know, you look around and you see that there are a lot of people that aren't that happy. So I thought, well, it would be good to know how to be happy. And
have you always been happy, or
I think
just kind of...
well, to an extent, but I don't, you know, I find it difficult to be happy in a world that isn't very happy, and so that's why I started to work with The Way to Happiness, because that is their purpose, is to help make the world a happier place, and that's done through individuals.
Right.
Because no organisation is going to do it. It is an individual thing. So the happier each person is, the happier society will be.
Now, I know you've got loads and loads of points in your book, and we can't obviously talk about everything today, but there's something that you'd like to home in on in particular, and I'm a great believer in what you're going to speak about as well.
Yes.
Do you want to tell the viewers what that is?
Basically it's the part of the book, because the book covers various areas in life and everything, but this particular one is probably one of my favourite, because I think if everybody applied this, the world would change tomorrow. And that's to try to treat others the way you'd like them to treat you.
Did you get that, guys at home? It's very important, right? Because sometimes we say it and people just miss it. But so treat others how you would like to be treated, basically.
Yes, and that is, you know, to how far can that go? I mean, it can be as simple as smiling at somebody or thanking them for doing something
That would be
for
so
you.
nice here in the UK, wouldn't it?
Oh my
Imagine
goodness.
getting on the tube and everyone's sort of giving each other a smile. That would be so nice, especially when it's raining and everyone seems to be depressed. I don't know why rain depresses people, because I happen to like all kinds of weather because I'm a happy person. But just to greet someone, even if you don't know them, because here is so like, people think you're strange if you smile at them.
I know, and it's...
Or that you're coming onto them if it's
oh my God!
It's true.
Well, there's always that, yeah. I guess, yes. So the thing is that basically we can do things every day that can make the world a happier place. And one of the things that I realized is that happiness obviously does come from within. I mean, nobody is going to make you happy. And somebody who's determined to not be will not be happy no matter what's going on. But I think that the majority of people actually want that and go out of their way to try and do it. But we live in such a fast-paced life, and time to sort of, you know, even things like letting somebody out, and when they're driving, you know, they're trying to pull out in front of you in the car and you're in a rush, and it's like, oh, just let them out. You know, that extra couple of seconds isn't going to make a difference, and it makes a big difference to somebody.
I mean, you feel good when you do things
Absolutely,
for people as well, don't you?
Yeah, I mean,
even if it's something small.
The times I thought, oh God, I should have done that, or I wish I'd done that, or, you know, help somebody with their bags at the airport, or, you know, hold the door open for somebody. It costs nothing, but it passes on a good feeling. And it does boil down to you are treated the way you treat other people.
Why do you think a lot of people nowadays are quite selfish?
I think I really honestly believe it's the pace of life. I think that there's a big demand to cope with an awful lot. You know, years and years ago, we weren't being exposed to the things we're being exposed to now. You know, the pace of life was slower. Women weren't necessarily, you know, rush and dropping the children. It's just a lot of stuff going on, and we have to now deal with things that we weren't dealing with before. So I think selfishness is more from lack of being time to sit back and think. You know, the thing about this book is it actually gives you, it's like a pause for thought. Well, what do I really think about this? What are my priorities? What do I really feel is the right way to be? And the majority of people will choose the right way, and it will affect other people. Everything we do affects somebody, impacts on somebody in some area of our lives. People are important, and they, you know, people listen to you, people watch you. You set an example for others.
I think people as well, touch on this point, people seem to have forgotten how to communicate, especially now we've got all the social network sites and everything, so it's all done like by text, by email, Facebook, Twitter, so there's not that sort of human touch anymore some of the time, so people have forgotten actually how to be nice to people, because they're always like in a rush, like you say, you know, the pace of life is much quicker nowadays. So it's like people have forgotten how to just have decent manners and etiquette and things like that.
I agree, and I think it does boil down to manners ultimately. And I mean, obviously that's the simple sort of thing, is good manners. And, you know, what are good manners? Well, how do you like to be treated? Do you like to be treated, you know, fairly and justly, and would you want people to listen to what you're saying? Do you want people shouting at you? Do you want, you know, it's very easy to decide how you would like to be treated, so give that courtesy to somebody else. It can only make things better. You know, it's not going to affect you badly to treat somebody else.
It never would it? No. Okay, well, let's have a look, because there was a bit of research done on how much money apparently a person needs to make to be happy. And this is research by the investment group Scandia. And they say 64% of Brits believe that having savings of up to £5,000 would make them happy. Now, when it comes to salaries, more than a quarter would be satisfied with less than £25,000. Well, which wouldn't really get them very far, I think. But anyway, while 62% would be happy to earn an income of £50,000 or below. So they're not saying they want to be millionaires, but they're just maybe like you were saying to me earlier, all about the security.
Yes.
Because how do you know if you don't have it? That's what I was saying to you. Like, if you don't have the extra £5,000 savings, how would you know if that would make you happy? But I suppose it's.
Yeah, I actually believe that, you know, what makes us happy is not anything in the material universe. Of course, those things add to our comforts or convenience or whatever that might be. But, you know, the idea of having £5,000 in savings in the bank actually represents something. Yeah. It's not the money, it's what it represents. And that's security. It's that fallback in case anything happens. And so if you've got that, you don't have to be sort of panicking about that, what might happen. You've got a bit more space to think, well, okay, I can now go and do something that I'd like to do, because I don't have to worry too much about that. My children will be, you know, have the right things, or whatever it is, you know, that's important to you.
Sarah, can you guess what the happiest country will be? Because I would have said somewhere like exotic.
Hot and with a lovely beach.
Yeah. What about you guys at home? Where do you think apparently the happiest country? I should say in reverse order, actually, because these are the top 5. Number 5, we have Austria. Number 4, Switzerland. Number 3, Netherlands. Number 2, Norway. And number 1 is not the Bahamas. It's not the Maldives. Apparently it's Denmark.
Goodness.
Yes, it's surprising, isn't it?
And what's interesting about that is there's no sign of any significance there.
Well, I've got a few factors here. Apparently, the employment rate is very high, 73%. Everyone's got 71% report good health. The employees do not work long hours, so only like this 1.92% of employees work really long hours. So that's great, isn't it? So that shows that, you know, they're probably going to have time with their family and to be with the human touch again, being with other people, giving. So that's that. And also life expectancy is 79.3%.
Well, I think it raises an interesting point as well, because people are not happy when they have too much time idle on their hands. People much prefer to be doing things and being productive. And if their rate of unemployment is, what was it? or employment rather,
employment,
was 73%. Yeah, so that's very high.
Yeah.
So the whole country is sort of very active in doing that. But as you say, they're not working ridiculous hours, so they get home exhausted and can't actually enjoy or reap the benefits of that, which is, I think, part of the problem is that what you say about human interaction, people getting home too tired and exhausted, and they've got to get up
and
the
grumpy,
next day.
because when you're exhausted, you're grumpy.
And grumpy because somebody didn't let them out when they were waiting to pull out.
Yes. When you're grumpy, you say things you regret to your family, to your friends, and then it's that thing again that you were speaking about, Sarah, about treating people the way you want to be treated. So it's a cycle. So it all boils down to one thing, doesn't it? But let's take a look at the happiest places in the UK. And this time we've got a video to show you. This is a BBC report. Let's take a look at this.
How happy were you yesterday? How anxious on a scale of 1 to 10? How would you rate your life satisfaction? The most detailed survey of Britain's well-being ever conducted reveals that the country is actually a pretty chipper sort of place, with 3/4 of people scoring their overall life satisfaction at over 7 out of 10. But not everyone's brimming with joy. Asked if they were happy yesterday, 11% rated their mood below 5 out of 10, and 22% said their anxiety levels were high. The most contented part of the country is actually the furthest north, Shetland, Orkney and the Hebrides, where 83% of people reported high levels of happiness. It's not about money, and it's not always sunny here, but the 5 least anxious areas in the UK are all in the north of Scotland. So what do the Orkney Islanders put it down to?
I've lived all over the world, doing South for a lot of years, and chose to come back here. Best place to be.
You can still walk up and down the street and go, aye, 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 and feel as though you really belong in a place.
Farmers have a reputation for being a bit gloomy, but the data finds that people who work on the land are actually among the happiest. In Lancashire, I met a dairy farmer who refuses to let the current row over milk prices get him down.
You're definitely at one with nature. You feel the elements on your face. I'm not stuck in an office from 9 till 5. And weekends, I don't need to go running into the countryside to actually experience it. I'm here all the time. I like it.
At the other end of the scale, the former industrial areas of the South Wales valleys score very poorly. Unemployment is seriously bad for happiness. Whitehall departments will be scouring the numbers for the secrets of the feel-good factor. Policymakers are now obliged to consider well-being when calculating value for money.
Okay, so interesting report there. So let's take a quick comment from Amelia now.
Jean shares with us what makes her happy. She writes, being in the company of family, good friends, spending quality time with a lot of music and food.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to be sharing what makes me happy later on as well, and some of it's a bit similar, but I won't tell you everything now. Okay, so back to you, Sarah. So what makes you happy?
I think the thing that makes me the happiest is helping somebody else. And I know that can sound a bit trite or whatever, but the truth is, if somebody comes to me and they've got a problem or they need some help or whatever, that does happen quite often. And it might be anything from, their job or with their children or, with their partner. It's something that I use the book, and no matter what the situation, they always leave feeling better and more positive and like they can actually do something about it. And I think that's the important thing, is if you feel you can do something about a situation, you will be much happier about it. And I think that's really what it boils down to.
What if a person's quite, because obviously if we're not dealing with other people, or if people are quite great that we're dealing with, it's easier to deal with them. But if they're quite negative, how would you normally deal with them?
There's the first thing is, have you been negative to them?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it could be that, or have you gone out of your way? Some people need a bit more encouragement than others. Some people are naturally more bouncy or bubbly, and some people are a little bit more reserved.
Yeah.
So maybe you need to just try a little bit harder with them and persist. Don't just smile at them once or say hello once, but just keep doing it, and then if they don't respond to that, then, maybe they don't want to be happy. I don't know.
I normally try to sort of also, added to that, is trying to understand the person, because we don't know what kind of problems they're going through, do we? Because sometimes you might have a right grumpy boss or a work colleague that really, really awful to you. but we don't know what's going on in their own
Totally.
life. So maybe they're going through something through hell at home, basically. So there's always a reason. I don't think people are just grumpy or unhappy for no reason. There's always like some underlying thing. But Sarah, you're going to stay with us, aren't you, for
Yes,
the second part? Because
please.
we're going to go to a quick break. And after the break, we'll be meeting a man with the happiest job, a lady who supposedly is at her happiest age. And also, I'm going to be telling you the things that make me happy. So join me after the break. Welcome back to the Chrissy B show. My guests are making me laugh tonight, which is a good thing because it's a happiness show. We're speaking all about happiness. And I'm going to be telling you a few things that make me happy. Now, first of all, I have to say, it's very true that happiness does have to start with yourself first. So if you're depending on outside things to make you happy, that probably will not work. And I have tried that in the past and it didn't work. But let's assume that everyone knows that I'm happy inside. Other things that make me happy as well, first of all, is my lovely husband. Now, why is that? Because he really is my best friend and we get along so well. I mean, some of you heard about the show, well, you watched the show where I revealed all the mistakes we used to make and the problems we used to have. And we got through all that and now we're extremely happy together. We make sure we have a date time, like at least once a week. We try to go out together, even if it's just for a coffee or something. So we have that friendship. And I think what's really important is we have a laugh as well. So it's really, really important. I think sometimes couples, they're so into their sort of mortgage and financial stuff and children, they forget to smile and they forget to laugh. So that's really, really important. And I also love to be around nature because I love sort of to just forget about everything and being somewhere calm and quiet and be able to put things into perspective. Now I'm going to be also now revealing it's almost time to reveal the happiest job and the happiest age. And then I'll get back to the things that make me happy. So I have two guests with me. First of all, are very nervous, I would say. No, she's not nervous. Assistant producer Excel.
Hello, Chrissy.
Hello. So apparently you're at the happiest age.
Yeah.
Would you like to reveal your age?
I think I should throw it out there for them to guess. What do you think?
So we haven't got time to get calls. But I know you want to be told that you're 21, but I think you're a bit past that.
I know. I think that is the happiest age, 21. But,
what age are you? Or else I'll just tell everyone.
According to research, my age, which is, drum roll please, 33.
So 33, you don't look it, I have to say.
Oh, thanks.
Young and fresh face. However, not that 33 is old or anything, because I'm well over that anyway. So why do you think 33 is such a great age, according to research?
I mean, I suppose everybody has to sort of make it for themselves, really, I think, But I think it's probably the age where you're not young, at least child, like teenage, or you've passed the teenage rate, you've passed the tweenage years, but you're not quite at the point of life begins at 40. You're just right. And I think that's what makes it,
I think at that age as well, you don't make those really stupid mistakes that you used to
Yeah,
make
you've
when
kind
you
of
were a
gone
teenager,
past that, yeah.
and you kind of get to know yourself a bit more.
Exactly.
But I don't necessarily agree with the research because I'm extremely happy and I'm past 33.
Yeah, it's all right. You can be 34 and happy. That's fine.
No, thanks, Excel. Love you for that. Okay, and then to Excel's right, we have a gentleman. I won't reveal what he does here, but taking a look at him, what do you think he does? His name, I won't say the first part, is Morris. And what do you think he does for a living? Taking a look at him. Now, Sarah thought he was a businessman, didn't you? He looked like a businessman. Okay, so tell us a bit about what you do first, and then maybe the viewers can guess.
Well, I think that what makes the profession that I have the best one is because the fulfillment that we seek for is not our own fulfillment, but is to help other people. And when we see their life changing and things happening in other people's life, these, I can say there is no money that can pay that.
Now, you before I ask you this question, actually, let's just go through the other top happiest jobs before we get to your one. So the first one, or the number 5, is special education teachers. It doesn't say why, I'm afraid. It just says special education teachers. Authors, because apparently when they let everything out of their head, apparently it makes them happy. Physical therapists, because social interaction, they're helping people, that's what makes them happy. Firefighters, are you a firefighter?
No.
No, okay. Firefighters. 80% of firefighters are very satisfied with their jobs, which again involves helping people. Are you seeing a pattern here? Helping people? And number one, what do you actually do then, Maurice?
I'm a pastor.
There you go, clergy. So that involves you work on a daily basis, don't you?
Daily basis, yeah. Every day we have this work full-time where many people come that have many problems and we help them, we give advice, we guide them in a way that the actions they take based on that guidance change their life completely. And this is very, very satisfying.
Okay, but you could actually be, I'm sure, I mean, you seem very intelligent. You could be out there earning loads and loads of money. So why not do that and do what you're doing instead? Because I know pastors and clergy don't really get paid very much.
Well, that's true. But I think that if I could do that, I could have a business. Actually, before becoming a pastor, I had my own business. So I could make money. And my point of view, I believe everyone will agree with me, that is money will not bring happiness. As she said, money helps because they are the needs that we have. So we need to buy things and it's made with money. But happiness is not based on money, because if it was, there were so many people with loads of money that they end up killing themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's something that I don't think will bring happiness. But when we see someone that needs help and we are there helping them and we see them changing, this is better than any money.
So it's back to the giving thing that you were speaking about, Sarah.
Yes,
as well.
and I think also it's to do with, you know, what goes around comes around. And I'm not saying that from a sort of, you know, selfish point of view, but if we help our fellow man, it inevitably is going to come back on us as well. Yeah. So you could be selfish about helping people because it's going to come. But
well, it's a good kind of selfishness in that way. Then,
whichever way you look at it, and actually, the people that don't help other people are not happy people. You see them. You see a lot of people who are wealthy and successful, and you know they're not happy. And you,
I mean, to agree with what you said in the first part, I think when you know that you can do something for someone and put a smile on their face, that is very satisfying. And I think I find that for myself as well. It's not, you know, to sort of say, well, I've earned so much money today and all that. Okay, that's good. But when you know you can help somebody out, that you've, you know, lightened their load in some way, I think that definitely, there is nothing that can take that feeling away, even if you have £1 million in the bank. And it's funny as well, you know, according to research, you don't really need £1 million. People haven't said that. They need what? 50, the cap is 50,000. So you just go, exactly. It only goes to show that it's not really about being affluent that makes someone, you know, happy. But it's just having that sense of fulfillment. And even a quote I remember that I like.
Okay, because I was taking over the show notes. Okay, I'll go back to my points in a minute quickly.
Sorry,
just a moment of fame.
I'm just happy. I just want to spread the happiness. No, I mean, I think it's what I mean. You know, what I was trying to say. Being happy is not that everything in your life is perfect either. It just means you choose to look past the imperfections, as it were, because no one has the perfect life, but you can be happy regardless. So.
Okay. Well, going back to what makes me happy. Thank you, so that was lovely. Okay, another thing that makes me happy that I think is really important in my life is spirituality. Now, I have my regular quiet time, like I said before. Obviously, I can't always go and be close to nature, but I like to, at night time especially, go to my window, look up at the stars, and I have my quiet time. I meditate, I pray on decisions that I have to make. Even if I'm anxious about anything, I'm not sure what to do. That's really, I think that time is really important for me because it's away from everyone. It's just me, and I'm praying there, and I think that's really, really helpful. And whenever I'm going through any bad time, that's the key for me as well. That really helps me. And on that as well, I also give back because I actually mentor other women in the church that I attend. And we really like to, first of all, help them, but also we encourage them to get involved in their community as well. So we have regular events, for example, this one that here on the screen now, we did a march against violence against women. So that's something that I think is really important, that people need to get involved. We need to, you know, encourage other people to get involved in their community and do things and not just focus on themselves all the time. Because as we're hearing here, everyone's, you know, echoing the same thing, that when you help other people, when it's not just about you, that's what really brings happiness as well.
And I think what's interesting also is that what's highlighted for me is that interacting with people and talking to people and hearing what they do, and that actually helps as well. And you're saying about people should get involved and stuff.
Yeah.
That it is being involved with people and caring and wanting them to do well and doing things to help them get on better in life and them helping you, and that's what it's all about. Otherwise,
it is very easy for people to complain about others, saying that, oh, this person, they don't change their life, look how they are living. But when you actually do something that helps and you see that person change, then you feel happy as well about that. So get involved in these community projects and things that helps the community. When you see the change in the community, I'm part of it. I was there.
I contributed.
I did something to add into it.
And we live in a world that is, it's got a lot of bad news and things, and that's that really is. We forget that we're all very decent people. Man is basically very good, and they want things to go well, and they want things to be, they want it to be nice. So
Just get corrupted easily, don't they?
But also you can get things being told to you that you must be careful of this and don't do that and all the rest of it. Getting involved in the community. That people, if they did more of that, they would actually find out that the world out there isn't that much of a threat. It's actually, there are a lot of people like you who just want the same things as you do, and by interacting with people you find that out. You don't find it out sitting at home watching the television or playing with Facebook.
That's true. I want a couple more things that make me happy. This cutie, first of all, that's going to come up on the screen anytime now. My baby Nina. No, she makes me happy because she's very distracting sometimes, because if you had a hard day at work, you have a dog, don't you?
Well, I used to, not anymore.
Oh, sorry. Well, let's not go there. Don't want to bring that up in the show now. Let's not go there. Anyway, she makes me very happy. I'll swiftly move on to the next one and see if you can guess what this point is that makes me happy. It's a bit shallow, but never mind. Take a look at this video. No, not that one. Okay, let me talk about the friends first. Yes, friendship. Friends make me happy because, again, it's that social interaction that you have with people. You have someone to talk to, have a laugh with again. So that makes me very, very happy. And so does this. Okay, is that really shallow? Because it does make me happy. I love eating.
So
it's
what
one of the favourite things I do.
So
Alright,
you
so
need
those are a
food
few
to
things.
survive.
How about you guys? Tell me some things that make you happy before we go.
I think similar actually. We're quite similar in a few things. I do love my food. I do love nature. I like to sort of disappear into the country every now and again and just visit places that are quite picturesque, and that's very something that I find very sort of therapeutic, as it were. Yeah, I enjoy.
And other than helping people, Pastor Morris, what makes you happy?
Well, I have to agree with everything that you said there because, I have a cat, though it's not mine, but since it's there in the same environment where I live, I like that cat as well. And I'm very happy when I'm going home and I see that cat there. So,
It's like a little piece of nature in your house, isn't it?
Yes,
It's
yes, food as well. And my lovely wife.
Aww. You had to say in that order.
No. The wife comes first, of course.
In ascending order.
I didn't reveal immediately.
Oh, so you're building up.
Yeah.
You were building up to it, right? Okay. Well, I thought I'd love to sit down and talk to you guys for longer, but we have to go now because we are going to a break, and Chris Brown is waiting also to speak about how to be happy at work. So thank you so much, Sarah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Morris. Thank you, Excel.
Thank
you.
It's lovely having you on this side.
I know.
Normally on the other side, but never mind. Okay, thank you so much, and we'll be back again after this break, so stay tuned. Well, I've been having a great time today on the Chrissy B Show with all my lovely, happy guests. And if you want more information about the show, and also you're going to find all our guest details on there as well, you can visit chrissybshow.tv. But now it's time for a happy place to visit. And this time it was in Brighton. Take a look.
I'm here with Emily, who's the press officer at Comedia, and she's going to tell us a little bit about Comedia and why people should come here. So, Emily, why would you recommend Comedia?
Well, it's a fab venue. It's independently run. We have loads of different events on, particularly Creator Comedy Club, which is our weekly comedy club, runs Friday, Saturday and Sunday. We've been voted for the award-winning best comedy venue in the southeast by Chortle 9 times. So yeah, you're guaranteed a good night out.
Apparently, Comedia is the second happiest place to come in Brighton. Why do you think that is?
I didn't know that. That's brilliant. Well, pretty much because if you come down here, you're guaranteed a laugh at some point. A really good night out. Yeah, it's one of the best entertainment venues in the country.
So I'm here with Jamie and Natalie, who are co-producers for a company, Jumpstart Productions. We've had their showcase here on Wednesday night and what was the film called? Was it Daisy?
Yeah, the film's called Daisy, yep. It's our 5th movie that we've done as a company, and it's all about a woman, an adult film star, making her last film in Ibiza.
So you had it screened here. Was that the first time it's ever been screened anywhere?
Yeah, it was its world premiere. Yeah, we've shown stuff here at Comedia before, but normally in the smaller rooms. So it's the first time we did it here. But yeah, it was its first ever screening. We sold it out, so it was nice, very busy.
After the actual premiere, we had a gig with the band themselves, so it was perfect setup for that, because then the band were able to get up and everyone was able to dance and clear the tables. So yeah, it was a good night for that.
There's actually nowhere like it in Brighton where you can, especially as a filmmaker, there's nowhere else to really show something in a place like this. And it's really nice. Everyone here is really nice. There's a really nice vibe to it. It's just a really nice place to show films. It's just perfect.
There's loads of stuff going on, loads of stuff for people to get involved in, and not just here but all over the city. It's a brilliant place to live.
Sorry, welcome back. I was getting distracted there because Chris is speaking to me. Hello, Chris.
Hi,
How
Chrissy.
are you?
I'm very well.
What makes you? Are you happy? I know you are. You look happy all the time, doesn't he? What makes you happy?
What makes me happy? I'll say about 4 particular things.
Yeah.
One, my faith makes me happy. Mm-hmm. When I go to that place, I'm happy. Yeah. Then my wife makes me happy. Food
You've got
makes
to meet
me
your
happy
wife
as well.
one day.
Oh yeah. Oh, we'll bring her on one time. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, she makes me happy.
I hear a lot about her.
You've heard a lot about her.
She's an amazing gal.
She is.
Yeah.
She is. And her cooking makes me happy.
Oh.
Yeah, so we go there with a food chat, makes me happy. And one thing as well that I do, I tend to like. One of my hobbies is tropical fish. So just to go
That's
there...
That's a bit random, isn't it?
I know.
Tropical
Everybody
fish.
thinks, why is this guy like tropical fish? But just to arrange a tank and see these fish moving around slowly, it really calms you down, relaxes you and chills at the end of the day. So those sort of things make me happy.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
So what are you going to be sharing with us today then?
Okay, today we're talking about happy at work, being on the topic of happy and happy at work and the reasons why people are unhappy at work and why they feel hard done by in that sort of way. I mean, before I go any further with that, let's just touch on an era. If I was to ask you, while you were growing up, when someone said, hey, well done, Chrissy, that was well done, what sort of things would you say it was?
Would that be my parents?
Yeah, your parents, yeah. Or
normally if I got good grades.
Well done.
And because my dad was a bit of a dancer, so like Greek dancing and stuff, so if I managed to copy his moves and stuff, so I usually got well done for that.
Okay. Are we going to see them? Oh, well done.
No. And if we do like a culture show one day, maybe we'll do some moves.
Right, okay. So these things, while growing up, you heard well done all the time. And like most of us, we hear well done. You do anything from a child, you start walking, you start drawing, you start talking, you start saying something, it's always well done. But then we get to a certain stage in our life where we're a bit more mature and we're in the workplace and we're still into the area of well done. We're talking about here recognition, appreciation, and we expect to get that all the time. And sometimes it doesn't actually go that way. You're in the workplace and you do a bit of work and the boss doesn't come and goes, well done, well done, okay? Or you type something up, well done. No, it doesn't happen, does it? But we've got to look at this because it's a sort of appreciation habit that we have. And if we're not getting that appreciation, we actually feel a little bit unhappy about what we're doing. We're feeling undervalued by what we're doing as well. So we have to look at the things and think, well, all right, this was a time when I grew up, I made achievements, and they were well done, happy. But now we're in the place of the appreciation habit. We expect that habit to go on. There's nothing wrong with it. Please don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with it. Everybody likes to appreciate it. I like to be appreciated. You know, every time my wife cooks a meal, up to now I still say, wow, thank you. You know, it's really good the way she dresses it. I walk in the house and it's done. And it's done like VIP. I look behind me, see there's somebody else coming in, but oh, it's for me. And I think, well done, yeah. And I appreciate that.
That's lovely.
But we get to that stage now where it doesn't actually go that way. We're at work. You do the work, and the boss hasn't got the time to turn around and say to you, well done. Just get on with it.
Or he thinks, well, you're getting paid for doing this, so you don't need it. Like, that's another thing, isn't it?
You hit the nail. That's what I was just going to mention.
Oh, sorry.
You know, no, that's exactly. No, that's great. That's great. We're on the same track because we get paid to do it, and that's the main thing. And we should accept that we get paid to do this work because that's why they chose you in the first place. It's nice to be appreciated, but we have to get out of the appreciative habit all the time, expecting it in that way, because you're going to get very disappointed and get disillusioned with situations.
It's better if you don't, because I remember a particular boss of mine. I mean, he was really nice, a really nice man, but he was very, I would say, really clever. And it's like anything would take to him is like, okay, but what about this, this and this? And guaranteed he'd think of something that you would never have thought of.
Right.
So I was quite a bit nervous working around him, and like I was really used to try my best. And then one day, I think we can't remember what project we were working on, and then he sent me an email and said, by the way, I think you're doing a great job. I nearly fell off my chair.
Brilliant.
I couldn't actually believe that he'd sent this. I kept it for ages because I never. So I thought, okay, in times when he says, no, that's not good or that's rubbish, then I can look at this email and just remember. But it does make you. It gives you that boost, doesn't it?
Of course it does. We all need it at one point or another, and we shouldn't really undervalue that. Everybody we meet, no matter who they are an individual. People like to be appreciated. It could be something simple. It could be somebody just moved out of the way. Somebody. Just as well, your guest earlier on, Sarah was saying about driving. That's one of the things as well, driving. Courtesy to let somebody out. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Little things like this make a difference. But we ourselves shouldn't go around automatically in the workplace waiting for it, expecting to have that well done all the time. We're there, we're paid to do the work at the same time. But you've got to think about this. It's not really all about you. And that's where that comes into it. You've got to actually get to the point where you actually value yourself. You value what you do. You know that it's well done. You know that you can do more than that at the end of the day. So don't go around thinking, well, it's all about me, it's all about me, it's all about me. That boss probably has a lot of problems on that day, has a lot of things to get out on that day, and just happens to pass you without actually saying, well done on that. It's not really about you.
Or even good morning.
Yeah, or not even a good morning at the same time. Not saying it's right.
No,
Speaking to you bosses out there, it's not right, okay? Right? Not an excuse. But at the same time, these things happen. So don't internalise it and start thinking it's all about you. You're going to be very unhappy, as we're talking about happy. Okay? Now, what I would say to that as well is another state, learning to actually appreciate you. Learning to say, well, your work is good. You know what's good about your work. You know what's good about you. And start to list those things as well. Because at the end of the day, you can go home, write down the areas that you've done, all the good things that you did throughout the day. I'm not talking only about work. I'm talking about your everyday life as well. And you'll feel more valued. You'll realise how much you actually put into making things happen. Because everybody in a workplace is valuable. Even though they might not have said much to you, you are valuable to what's happened. That's why they chose you in the first place, because they believe that you can take on that responsibility. So we're talking about, well, getting paid and wanting a well done at the same time. It's nice. We all want it. You know, it's nice. It's nice when someone comes to you and say, well, I'll think about the work I do. Many times, transforming people's lives, changing it. Somebody comes along at the end of the day and either write a letter and they say, oh, thank you very much for what's happened so far. I feel great. I feel great about it. I'm appreciative for what I do at the same time. So it does make a difference. It's important, but I'm talking about your happiness inside of you to make sure that you don't feel that let down by other people. Know what you're good at yourself, know that you're worthy, and you're valuable.
And also, I think some people, like say, for example, in a marriage or in a relationship, sometimes people don't verbalize their appreciation. They don't automatically say, oh, thank you, or I think this is great. They're just not like that. They don't know how to express their feelings. So also as well, I think it's important to remember that people express appreciation in different ways. So maybe, for example, say if you weren't the kind of man that will go home and like, Hazel, your wife, Hazel, she just cooked you a lovely meal, and then say if you didn't say anything, but I'm sure she would love it if you did, but say you didn't, she would probably think, okay, well, at least I did my best. And that's that self sort of satisfaction that you have, because if you don't do your best, you don't feel good, do you?
No,
if you know you haven't really tried, if you know you haven't maybe given your children the best of yourself, the attention that they need, you don't feel good about yourself. But when you give your best, regardless of whether they actually say something back to you, you feel good about yourself because you know you did yourself proud, in a sense.
It's important to you. It's important to hear that. Just as I mentioned before, we grew up with that. It's a habit. We know that at the end of the day. It helps us excel further, to be appreciated, whether it be in the marriage at home, in the family as well, just to actually have that thank you, or talk about how well somebody did something, or talk about a day and find out what the areas are good. Exchange that in the marriage. How was your day? How was your day? That sort of thing as well, and finding out. And through that conversation and dialogue, you'll find out there's a lot of good things that you did do to make a difference.
That's true.
Very much so, at the end of the day. So, in saying that, if you're looking for happiness at work, don't look for it externally.
Yeah.
Look for it inside. Know what you are and how good you are and what you actually produce, and be an asset to that company instead.
Great point. So that's the starting point, isn't it? The foundation of everything.
It is, it is.
Okay.
I mean, earlier on you was talking about, you mentioned about one of the happiness countries, and you said Denmark.
Yeah.
And I realised, and when the question came up, why, it was about the economics, it was about the finances, it was about all these sort of things. It was all external things, and the whole thing of survival, right? Yeah. I was joking over there and saying, well, where's happiness? And I said, well, no, it's right here. Yeah, it's right here, right inside here. So, you know, it depends where you place your happiness at the end of the day. It's all individuals. And I mean, I don't know who actually does that research and survey, but at the end of the day, it's down to an individual. You have that power. To actually change the situation into happiness, no matter what's going on. You have that power.
Chris. Okay, so happiness, as we know, starts from within. And I'd like to maybe put a little challenge to everyone out there as well that's watching. And how about you take the focus off you and put the focus on other people? Try it for a week and see how your life, how you're going to feel and how your life's going to be. So start to show appreciation. If you haven't been showing appreciation to your husband, your wife, your partner, your children, your work colleagues, start to say thank you, start to say well done. And also try and find ways to help people as well. Things that maybe you wouldn't normally think of. So maybe like in the morning you're rushing off to work, you've got your coffee, you're just, rushing through the crowds and everything. But just take a look around you and see if there's anyone that could maybe do with a hand, or maybe if you open the door for someone, just small things that you can do. And that, I think that's going to have a ripple effect, isn't it?
I think as a ripple, it's a brilliant test to do. It's a brilliant test. Saying that, there's another one, shops, customer care. You're working behind the counter all day, really slogging away. And not every customer's going to come up and say, well done, are they? They're not. They're going to go their way. But at the same time, you've actually done quite a big change in somebody else's life, I remember I was mentioning last time we talked about the fish centre and all that, and I said about the aquatic centre, which is in Osterley, which I go back to all the time. They're just amazing. The customer care is amazing. Making sure that everything is okay. And I always mention it wherever I go. Any talk I do, I'm talking about customer care. That comes up, like where you go, how much they show appreciation. So this test that you actually set, I think it's going to make a big ripple effect. It's going to be great.
Yeah. And I think everyone should smile as well.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Great.
Let's try that as well. So smile at people as well. Yeah. Okay, you might get some funny looks on the tube sometimes, right?
Oh.
Maybe don't smile at everyone, but at least, people that you pass, or the bus driver, for example. Normally the bus drivers don't even look at the people that come on, but just want to say good morning and just see what happens. Hopefully won't get thrown off the bus, being a bit of a weirdo, but it all starts somewhere, doesn't it? So I think we can all spread a bit of happiness as well.
I mean, humour's another one that goes well. It's very good to laugh at the end of the day. Yes. It's healthy. It actually helps your immune system as well. Being able to laugh all the time. So humour, I think, is a great one. So, by the way, that's another one of mine as well that makes me happy.
Okay,
People with great sense of humour, I'm there.
Thanks very much, Chris. So we'll see you again next week on the show. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your words of wisdom again. And we have to leave it there, I'm afraid. And if you do want more information about the show, you can visit chrissybshow.tv. And we are going to... What day is it today? I always forget the day.
Today
is Wednesday. And what's the show on Friday? Because the auto cue's gone. The power of touch. Okay, so that's something very, very important. And there's going to be lots of interesting facts. So the power of touch is going to be on Friday's show. So we'll see you there. Bye-bye for now.